Well, hey, y'all. It's James, the content creator here at Natural State Transparency. We got the old school hat today. It's one of the very first hats I ever ordered. The pink. It's not even the purple, it's the pink scheme. Coming to you live today from NST headquarters down here in downtown Little Rock. Uh, we haven't done a live stream in quite a while. Uh, Part of that is I've been busy. We're all human and we all have schedules to tend to. I have been rather busy this last month and haven't really had much time to dedicate to the lives. And I feel like I've neglected some of my viewers. I do apologize in advance. I see your comments and I see lots of people asking me, when are you going live next? So this, in some ways, this is to appease you because you've been missing me. So that was kind of what was on my mind this afternoon when I thought, well, I'm here and I'm about to do some content. Why not just go live for a few minutes and engage with my viewers? So, good afternoon to you. I'm glad you're here again. This is James, and I am the content creator for Natural State Transparency. There is nobody else. It's just I. Hope everybody's doing well this afternoon. We're done with pursuits. There won't be any more pursuits this week. The updates that I have for you, first of all, it's getting ready to be September 1st. It's the last day of August. So this is kind of like a September 1st live stream update. Let's talk about merch real quick while I have your attention. Okay. So I got some merch ordered. Remember, we talked about larger sizes. Some folks wanted long sleeves. Some folks wanted larger sized hoodies. So I did all that and we got them in. I'm not trying to knock the lady at the embroidery shop. She went on vacation. Unfortunately, someone else did the order. They didn't check it properly. Their printer was out of alignment. So if you see right here where it says, well, let me get my finger to work here. Natural State, the tops of all of those were white and it didn't look right. It just didn't look right. It didn't match. So I had a discussion with the embroidery shop. They were more than generous to take the order back. So this last week, I was able to dedicate some time to run back to Batesville. We got that dropped off. They're touching them up now. If they can't salvage them, we'll certainly get another order in. They're more than willing to accommodate me, so I don't have any gripes at all about the embroidery shop in any way. They're making it right, but that has delayed us having merchandise for you to be able to buy and support this channel with. So that's the first update, is that we are still working on the merch and it will be here sooner rather than later. And so I hope to have that posted sometime next week for all that's interested in, especially the larger sizes, the long sleeves and the stuff that we discussed. I'll have those in stock. Let me read some of your comments real quick. Glad to see everybody here. I see we got an international audience. I love that. Got my coffee. Man, we got the coffee here. So let's see here. The Hermit says, you're awesome, man. I live in Saline County, right off the interstate where all the bag rats have been lately. Seen a lot of them. Yes. Well, thank you very much, the Hermit. I know all about Saline County. I used to live in Saline County for a while. And if you're driving through the central Arkansas area, just south side of Benton, going through Haskell and into the old Hot Springs Highway right there, well, that's just been some major road construction for the last 5 years. And even though they've made progress, it doesn't seem like that's ever going to be over with. So I try to avoid that like the plague. If I'm going to Hot Springs, I usually will take Highway 5 in Benton and cut through. And it's a more scenic way to go anyway. So I always enjoy that. Hello, Randy. Hello, Barbara from White County. Speaking of White County, I was just there. Of course, I cut through White County on the way from Northeast Arkansas. Some of y'all that don't know my story, I'm a lifelong Central Arkansas resident. I just moved last year to Walnut Ridge, Lawrence County in Northeast Arkansas. So, of course, I commute back and forth from Little Rock for work and stop into Searcy all the time in White County. I just recently drove through Rosebud. in that area. I'm always amazed. White County is, I believe, the largest county in Arkansas. And here's something else about White County, unless you're like a lifelong resident of White County, but if you're like me who just comes to visit, you can actually go. White County's so big, it's like its own little state. It really is. All right. So let's do a vote real quick. Let me see if I can. Oh, it'll let me do this. Okay, let me type this in real quick. Hang on 1 second here. We're going to vote. We're going to do a vote. I'm not going to tell you what it is, though. Hold on. Give me just a second. We're also going to do a contest, which means I'm going to give something away. So you might as well just hang out while you're here, but don't go anywhere. You might think about it, but don't do it. Now, who can tell me where that line came from? I bet somebody in here can probably tell me where that line came from. On the next traffic. Okay, so we're going to do a vote. Just a minute. Let me get this keyed in and then you can vote. Yep, Wayne got it. Smokey and the Bandit. You might think about it, but don't do it. Yeah, sometimes I feel like we need a little more Sheriff Buford tea in society right now. I'll tell you, a little bit of that. But hey, it was good. It was good entertainment. It was good to watch. Okay, let me finish this real quick. Okay, so here in about 30 seconds, when I push the button, we're going to vote. And so, actually, when I get done with this live stream, I'm going to mosey back on upstairs where I'm going to make this movie. So, vote now. Look on the side where the chat's at and go on and vote. You pick. What am I making next? Now, Paul Platt says, we need more Trooper Bird videos. I know. Don't worry about it. They're coming. I've already ordered them. They're on the way. I actually have one now. The only problem is the audio is only good for half of it. I may still feature it. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you what, Paul, I'll make you a deal. I'll make you a deal, Paul Platt. I'll make that the second feature today. So we're voting on what we're about to do next, and then I'll do the Trooper Bird video. But remember, like I said, it only has about half the audio. Okay. Are we done voting, y'all, or is that it? Is that all we're going to get? 33 votes? Well, it looks like Corporal Briggs and Troop E wins, 39%. The second place was Trooper Duarte and Troop L. Okay. Well, I think the voters have spoke. So the next video that we're going to do is for Corporal Briggs and Troop E. That'll be the next release. So I believe I'm on 1147. Don't get me to line. What did I do? 1148. Let me look. Where is it? There it is right there. So that was what? 1147. See, I was right. I was sitting there doubting myself. I had it right. 1147. Okay, so Corporal Briggs will be 1147, followed with the Trooper Bird 1148. So that's going to be our lineup for today. Now, you may or may not get notified about it, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I did some releases after midnight for the pursuits. I think I burned up my notifies. So you might not even know that I released the video. You might want to check back with us later on and see if it's posted, because it probably has. But I'm going to work on that as soon as we get done with this live stream. So let's talk about, do we have any other updates? Like weather? Nothing really to talk about on the weather. We're not in our severe weather season right now. So we did that weather video up in Troop L, which was fun. I really enjoyed doing that. It's not fun that people lost their lives and were injured in the tornado, but it was fun to put together a video to kind of commemorate the event, something that was a little unusual, and then the normal traffic stops and pursuit videos. And I enjoyed doing those. I think it's important to preserve the record. Does that make sense? Kind of like a historical reference. People 20 years from now may go and look at that video. I don't know. Maybe not. Well, we might not even be here in 20 years. I don't know. But no. I just wake up every day. All right. So let's look at some other comments. Oh, wait a minute. Let's talk about another update. The bus. The Troop A bus, the motor coach that was stolen. It was not in the pursuits this week. Several people have tipped me off. Yes, we're going to feature that video. Come on now. We're going to feature it. So it'll be probably next Friday. Just know I'm working on it. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, there was a motor coach that was stolen, and Troop A, State Police Troop A, got behind it, and it ended at the railroad tracks in North Little Rock at the Union Pacific Rail Yard. You're more than welcome to Google Central Arkansas stolen bus. It'll come up in the news from the last few days. Dakota Duncan asks a very good question, and this is something that actually I want to touch on. This is for everybody's knowledge. Dakota Duncan asks, are there any traffic series episodes of Troopers we haven't seen before in the lineup? Okay. Yes, there will be. I don't always just go with the ones I know. And I hope you all know that. You have to understand, how many sworn troopers are there in the state of Arkansas that work highway patrol? Hundreds. So, it doesn't do anybody any. I mean, let me not say it doesn't. Yeah, we can feature the same troopers over and over and over again, and I do some of them because I just like them. I like their style, like Corporal Briggs. There's no secret in my game with him. I'll feature him all the time because I think he does a good job. I believe in Corporal Briggs. I believe in that style of law enforcement. I've worked with a Corporal Briggs. Okay, that's what I'm saying. I get it. So I like to show that. But I also like to show young troopers. I like to show troopers that are in their FTO. And y'all know I don't shy away from showing FTO troopers. I sure do. Absolutely. I show lady troopers. I don't pick favorites with let me start short of saying I don't pick favorites, because I kind of, a little bit pick favorites. But generally speaking, I try to give everybody a fair shot all over the state. Does that make sense? I hope so. And Paul says Paul Platt says, what you do is great for younger people to understand not to be afraid of the police. And that is really, you're hitting the nail on the head with that. That is, well, I like to say it like this. There wasn't an instruction manual growing up in school, and there wasn't a class that taught you how to handle traffic stops when they happen. You just somehow have to know that when the blue lights come on, you're expected to pull over and do as you're told. And there is some on one hand, you've got some people that say, I don't want to be told what to do. And they have the right to feel that way. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not going to tell you what to watch. How about that? So if you don't want to watch this channel, you know, okay, I'm not going to tell you to. I'm not going to make you, and it's not illegal for you to watch another channel, but they don't teach you in school these things. They don't teach you how to handle yourself accordingly. So these videos, if I could normalize normal behavior, I think we're doing something right there. Our society, unfortunately, has normalized radical behavior, such as crazy police pursuits and violence, and this outrageous behavior. And you know what? Hey, I every to each their own. I understand that, but I think we need to normalize normal behavior again, and that is really one of the cornerstones of this channel, is to show normal interactions with all colors, from all walks of lives, from all sexes, black, white, Hispanic, male, female, old, young. Guess what? Troopers are still issuing warnings. I mean, when you see it over and over and over and over again, it starts to combat that narrative that all the police are bad and that all of them are out here trying to get at you somehow. But then you come to Natural State Transparency right here in Arkansas, and you watch any of my traffic stop videos, and you tell me that about 9 out of 10 times you're going to probably watch that video and feel like it went pretty well. That's pretty fair, given the circumstances. Most of y'all say that anyway. At least if you're the ones commenting on the videos, I read your comments. I know what you say. And I just want to say one other thing for the record. The officers are the ones, and the troopers are the ones out here doing the work. And I've consistently said that on this channel a dozen times. I don't really like to take a lot of credit. I may enable the video to be seen by the general public, the masses, through YouTube, yes. So I do play a role in it. The troopers and the officers that are conducting themselves like the professionals that they are, those are the ones we need to give the credit to. They make me showing them off easy. This needs to be normalized. Dakota asked, do you have a favorite Traffic Series episode? I do have a few. So, because I guess I'm a little younger than some, I really like the NWA Straight Outta Johnson video, even though it only got 3,000 views and I lost a bunch of subscribers because they couldn't stand the cuss words. But they watch unfiltered police content, but they couldn't stand the cuss words in the music. So anyway, that was a fun one to do. I loved it. But now, actually, I have one on there. If you go look up Corporal Dale Howard, H22, and H Troop, and it's an older video. You'd probably have to search for it. You go in the Troop H playlist, look way back in Troop H. It was a motorist assist. I don't remember which highway, and it featured Corporal Dale Howard, and he was wearing his long sleeves. Right? Here's my arm, right? All the stars on his sleeves. So, Dale's been working a long time, because each one of those stars is a 5-year service star. And the video was Dale Howard pulls up on a car, side of the road. I think it was US 71, if memory serves me correct, just over a year ago. And it was a young black female driver, and you could tell. We never saw her, but you could hear her. And he walked up on her passenger side and talked to her, and she had a flat tire. And what you don't normally see, but probably happens way more than we'll ever give it credit for, was Corporal Dale Howard. I mean, he's in his 50s. You can tell he's an older gentleman. And he went to his car and put on his knee pads. got a four-way out, and got on his knees and changed that young lady's tire. And then offered her a little bit of fatherly advice at the very end about your other tires are looking bald. I just don't want you to break down on the way to where you're going, and be safe. And it was a refreshing interaction. We are so used to we've been so normalized to radical, crazy behavior, but yet here we have a normal interaction, just a normal, everyday interaction between two individuals, mutual respect. So anyway, that was one of my absolute favorites to feature. And did it get the views? No, less than 10,000, but it still was worth showing. So anyway, let me read some of your comments real quick. Yeah, now that particular video that you're mentioning, Ron, was that was Chief Taylor, when I was still getting a little body cam footage from over there. And a lot of people don't even realize how common it is for the state troopers to help assist motorists that are broken down. Our state, Arkansas, we're lucky to have compassionate troopers that actually care. And I'm not trying to knock a particular state, but just there's other states I hear about where the trooper would never stop to help change a tire, and I don't know. I wasn't personally raised that way. I was raised to help. We're neighborly here. So, do I have any hazing content coming? No, I don't. Now, let me clarify that. I have some in Troop D, Prairie County, which is the hazing area, but do I have hazing PD footage? No. Donna says, when we see a video of yours on another channel with your watermark erased, what should we do? Nothing. Just laugh at them for copying my stuff. Yeah, nothing. They can't do their own work. They can't do their own research, but then they can steal my stuff. But yeah, whatever. Some will argue it's not mine to steal, even though I made it. Like cut it up and edited it. But some will argue, well, that's publicly funded FOIA stuff. And they just steal it from you. Yeah, You know who the source is, right? Natural State Transparency? Right. Just keep me in mind. How long does it take to become an Arkansas State Trooper? I'd say approximately a year. A little bit less than a year, and that's because you've got to apply for it. Then you've got to go to the background check. You got to go polygraph. You got to get a physical. Blah 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 blah. Then you got to wait for troop school to start. Then troop school starts, and you go through the academy, and then you get out. And then you FTO, which is field training officer. You get paired up with a training trooper for anywhere from a month to 3 months, depending on how much training you need. Some folks need a little bit more help than others, so they have to take a little longer, right? It can take about a year. What is the process of you getting each of these videos? Well, Faye, I appreciate the question. Now, I'm not going to reveal that simply because I'm just not going to reveal that. I will tell you that there are certain things I do, and I do research and development. Research and development is its own thing, okay? And it's time consuming. And, making the requests, getting them in, processing it, paying for those requests, and then seeing the videos you got, categorizing them into what you got, what versus what's trash and garbage, and you're not going to show it because the audio's bad, and there is so much that goes into all of that. Surprisingly, there really is. But, you know, um, I will say that I have folks that email me and tip me off to various uh, things that happen. I'll tell you that I'm a member of multiple Facebook groups across the state of Arkansas, like What's Happening in Fort Smith, North Little Rock, the good, the bad, the ugly, uh, Conway Uncensored, or the Russellville Shenanigans page. What's Happening in Batesville is my newest one, right? And so I'm a member of a lot of these different Facebook groups. So I can just stay connected with what's happening in Arkansas, see what other folks are talking about. Wayne Coulter says, one of the funniest videos I've seen was the Little Rock Hood News dude who got popped for speeding and then towed because of his license being revoked. He was cool until the officer said he was getting towed and why. Wayne, I feel you on that. I'm not going to say anything else, but I totally feel you on that. And you know what I wouldn't have done? I wouldn't have cussed out a state trooper personally or told him that I was the one that made them famous. Never. Ooh. And if you don't know what we're talking about, you can just do a YouTube search for LRHN cusses out the state trooper. It's on Police Pursuits channel. It's not my video. Let's see. Let's read here a little bit more. Dakota says, I came across a channel that does the older videos. Are you planning on? I don't do older videos. I do new stuff. The old videos are already made. Anybody can get access to the old videos. So anybody like that channel that's just getting old stuff, they're already made. They didn't have to do anything. All they asked for was the old stuff and they got it. Okay. So no, I'm not going to feature old stuff. I'm featuring new and current. This is a fresh, modern, right now channel. Not knocking the old. Now, let me say one other thing, though. Let me make this clear. There's two things. One, I do have some retro pursuits on here from LRPD, Little Rock Police Department, from like the late 2000s. So I do occasionally put a retro pursuit on just for historical references or whatever. And also, if there was like a major incident that occurred in Arkansas, say in the last year, that I tried to get the video and it's tied up in court right now, so they won't release the video. Well, then when they do release the video, then I'll show that. But am I going to go dig back 5 years for a pursuit? The other channels can do that. I'm not doing that. Austin says, can I FOI my own traffic stop? How long do I have to wait? Yes, you can. You can absolutely, you can only speak for Arkansas. Only speak for Arkansas, though. Arkansas, you have to be an Arkansas resident if you're in Arkansas. You can't speak for any other state. If you're an Arkansas resident and you're in Arkansas, you can absolutely FOI your own traffic stop video. Sure, no problem. Be prepared to pay for it. And it's $20 an hour. Any new bank robbery videos? Okay, so bank robberies are something that I would love to show more of. I'm a naturally the name Natural State Transparency. The transparency in me wants to show you everything. So if we've got a violent, aggravated robbery type crime that occurs, and say it leads into a police chase, you bet. And as a matter of fact, I'm not going to reveal the date of one, but I am working on a scenario. I'm not going to tell you which city. I'll give you the details without telling you the city, because again, unfortunately, I'm not trying to talk about my competition too much, but we've got some loose lips in every channel. Somebody here is going to go tell Hood News we were talking about them today. I already know that. I'm already prepared for that. I'm not even worried about it. But I also know some people will go tell other channels what I'm up to. So I'm not going to tell you what I'm exactly doing, but I will say that there was a scenario that occurred last year in 2023. I'm not going to tell you which city. I'm just waiting for the courts to finish their thing, and then I'm going to get this video where a woman was walking out of a grocery store and she was attacked by a gentleman who threw her down and snatched her purse and got in a vehicle. That vehicle information was broadcasted to patrol units in the area. A patrol unit spotted the vehicle, got in pursuit with it, and they ended up arresting the subject, taking him to the hospital with injuries after he fought the officers. And then that'll also involve body cam footage. And it's lengthy, and there's multiple units involved. So it's not just like one unit that went to take the report of the robbery and another unit got to chase. It was like 10 units that got involved. And there was just it's a big deal. So I'm just waiting for that particular one. I've been waiting on it for a long time, actually. And as soon as it clears the courts and I can get it, I can get it. Let's talk about clearing the courts. Some videos that don't have any like criminal arrest or anything, there is no restrictions on it. There are some videos where if somebody got charged with a felony, let's use an example like a violent crime. I won't be able to get that video for a year or two. So just so you understand, and I think some folks need to be more realistic about this. Now, you watch this channel and you think I have access to everything 24/7 all the time. The truth is, I would love to have that access. I don't. I'm at the mercy of the prosecuting attorney for every county in Arkansas. If they put a restriction on it and don't want the media to have access to it, guess what? I don't have access to that video. So we try, though. That's for sure. Keurig. So we're going to be together for a few more minutes. I thought maybe we'd have us another cup of coffee. So that brings me to my next thing we were talking about a minute ago, and I want to bring this back up. We're talking about different troops, different troopers, and whatnot. I try to show every troop as much as I can equally. I don't have a preference in troops. It might seem like maybe I feature a lot of videos from one troop or another. That's just because I got those rounds of videos in. Again, I'm not going to go into great detail telling y'all how I do my thing. I'm just going to tell you, though, that sometimes it's circumstantial. It just depends on what I get back. So I can't help it sometimes that it's going to be one area or another. But I try to show them all. What y'all come to realize by watching this channel, and what you should already know, is that we have some great troopers in every county in Arkansas. I mean, every troop has them. And I know there's probably some troops I don't feature as much that I should, and I know that. I can already tell you the ones in my mind I don't feature enough I and G and K. Those are the three. I'll be right back. Hang on. I spilled my coffee when I sat down a little bit. Let me clean that up. Oops. There we go. So I'll admit I'm guilty a little bit of not showing some of the troops more than I show the others. I'll work on it. That's all I can tell you. I'll work on it. Oh, you say the Troop K pursuits. I get when we get pursuits in, they come from all the troops. They're not distinguished by troops when we get those pursuits in. So if there was a Troop K pursuit, it'll be in there. We're talking about just Troop K content, like traffic stops, motorist assists, and the other stuff. That's what I'm talking about when I say I need to do more of, because I know there's some troops I tend to do more of than others in that regard, like the traffic series with just traffic stops and stuff. I'm not showing G and K as much, and I know I'll work on it. What's Ricky says, what's the story behind the song used in the intro to all the videos? Okay, well, the gentleman that sang that song is Jasper. Jasper passed away in 2023. And I knew Jasper from a long time ago. I actually watched him perform that song live on my back porch. And so Jasper was a friend of mine. And I asked him when I started this channel if he would even care if I used the song. He didn't care. And he didn't have it, whatever, copyright or whatever written or whatever. It's on SoundCloud. I mean, you can go download it. So anyway, I don't know why Jasper passed away in 2023. I have a lot of people that ask me that. I speculate it had something to do with his addiction. I don't know. Rest in peace, and certainly rest in peace to the many, many people that have found themselves locked into a serious addiction that ultimately either damaged them or took them out. And he was kind of in that bracket. Okay. I'm not trying to, you can think, I'm not here to change your opinions about things. Okay. I'm just telling you how I feel. And I mean, he had an addiction that got the better of him, I'm afraid. But that lends itself credence to why we feature him on this channel, because he was a local Arkansan. And, if you listen to it, I know some of those words are hard to understand. He didn't leave a lyrics list. I've had to figure them out. Okay. It took a while. But one of the things that he says in the main hook of the song, I think that all hate is just a bad dream. You might not have been able to make that out, but this song that he was singing was actually somewhat political. And it was talking about being able to express yourself. Creativity is your only freedom. And I think that all hate is just a bad dream. So in my opinion, it's absolutely appropriate for this channel. And I understand it might not be everybody's favorite song and genre of music, like rap. Okay, great. Don't listen to it. I don't know what to tell you. Hit mute, skip, don't watch. We have choices. I mean, I want you to be here. I don't want you to think I've got an attitude right now. Like I don't want you to watch my content. I want you to be here, and I don't want to irritate you every time with a song you don't like. But unfortunately, I'm not going to make everybody happy. I've come to realize this. There's nothing I can do about it. So we're stuck with Jasper, okay? And I'm okay with it. And I'll just say this about Jasper. What you heard was real. He lived the life. I've seen it. So YouTube user James of Flatbush says Corporal Randy Schwab's sister is here. I love showing off some Corporal Schwab up in Troop L. That is L16. I'll tell you, every troop has their troopers. And I mean, I don't, because see, I don't want somebody to say you got your favorites. That's all you ever show. I know. I mean, I do have some picks. I do have some picks. I've only been doing this now for how long? And I'm the content creator. So who edits all these videos? I've watched hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of state police videos. So Corporal Schwab, he's cool. I like him. I like showing Corporal Desmond Benton in Troop L as well. I love Corporal Inky. They've got some real good uh, older senior staff members there in Troop L that are good. Corporal Elkins, L19. They're all good. There's not one you're going to go wrong with. That's the thing. It, you know it's going to be a good video. That's the thing. That's what makes my job so easy. Is you like when I pick these videos, I know they're going to be good. I just can't wait to show them to you. Oh. Okay, so I guess if there's not any more questions, since it's kind of turned into a Q&A sesh, well, Nate says the woman that gets all the drug busts is Escamilla, I think. And that is Trooper Anna. Yes, she does. They formed a different troop. And I might even modify my troop map to recognize it. I've been thinking about doing that. And it's the ICP troop. It stands for Interstate Criminal Patrol, which is a statewide deal. And Trooper Anna and several other troopers have joined that team, and they work within the Highway Patrol troops. So, like Trooper Anna's in Troop A, Lonoke County, but her call sign is different. So she doesn't have an A call sign anymore. You know, the A stands for Troop A, and then your number is your unit number. She used to be A77. And so now she's 1351. So the 1300 series call signs are the ICP troops. I'm still learning them. It's a little confusing to me. I try to give the information. I may get it wrong. I don't know. But anyway, so that's why you're seeing her with all the big drug busts, because she is on that, like kind of like that squad, if you will, or that specialized troop, that ICP troop, and they work statewide depending on where they're needed. So you'll see her again more, and you'll see some other of those ICP troopers. Sergeant Rocky Rapert in Troop C. He's on ICP. I know that I saw one of my. We talked about some of your favorites. Here's one. Here's a favored one. How about Tanner Hess? Trooper Tanner Hess. Anybody? He's on ICP. And there's more. I don't. Just because I didn't mention them doesn't mean I don't love them. There's more. There's more. Hey James, can we get videos? Bo says, "Hey James, can we get videos from Hot Spring County?" Yes, you can. Hot Spring County is Troop K. Troop K has been neglected. I have already admitted it, that I have neglected Troop K, and God knows Malvern and Hot Spring County gets some action. I am already aware. So yes, the answer is yes. Those are the K40 units. I'll work on it. Trooper Smedley, Seth Smedley, and Trooper Davis, 43, and Trooper Daniel, 42, I think. Anyway, yeah, we'll work on it. We'll work on it. Okay, let's check this out here. Generic name RD says, what happened to Trooper Jessica McCord? Well, I'm not going to, I really don't know. Other than what I read, and you can Google it and you can read it for yourself. And I mean, I'm not trying to be mean or ugly or anything, but I'm not going to discuss that here. I'm just not. If you want to see what happened, go for it. It's out there. I'll say this, though. Wish her the best of luck. And a quick bounce back. I don't really know that I so much agree with what happened, but anyway. Faye says, are all the shifts different? Tell about the hours they work. Okay. So I do know that they have like a morning shift that comes in, obviously, and they come in at usually 0600, early, work until 2. There's a mid shift that gets off. Then there's a night shift that'll stay on until 2 a.m. Uh, I don't know if they rotate shifts or not. Like a day shift trooper goes to nights in a month or something like that and goes back to days. I'm not aware of that. I'm not sure about that. I can tell you that most counties in Arkansas do not have a 10-8 trooper, which means in service. 10-8 is the police code for in service. Most counties in Arkansas do not have an available trooper after 2 a.m. That's not to say there's not an on-call trooper, and there always is. So let me propose a scenario to you. Say you're in rural Cleveland County, which is down south in South Arkansas, and it's 3:30 in the morning, and there's a fatal accident. Whoever the on-call trooper is for Cleveland County is going to get an awakening phone call and have to respond from the house. And that tends to happen, unfortunately for them, but it does happen, and that's just how it is. So again, you don't always have a trooper. Yeah, I know. At JB, I just happened to pick your county, didn't I? Cleveland. Of all the 75 counties in Arkansas, I pulled out Cleveland just for you. See, there you go. But yeah, so that's how that works. That's actually honestly how that works. And again, there's on-call trooper might have to go if there's a severe weather event, like they had all those tornadoes that moved through northwest and north central Arkansas, the ones that we featured on this channel. Troopers that were normally just off work came in for that event. They didn't even have to be called in. They just got 10-8. That's what they do. So, that's kind of how that works. They do have some, and they overlap on shifts too. So, your day shift's going to overlap with your second overlaps with your third, so that there's coverage. K32. I'll look and see. I don't know what K32 is. I don't know that I've got K32. Let me see if I've done one with K32. No, I don't know. They won't give me a new call sign sheet. So that's something I'm mad at. I have a gripe with the state police. If you want to know what it is, I'll tell you. They won't give me an updated call sign list. I haven't had one since July 23. So the call signs have changed tremendously since then. Some older troopers are still who they are. I just have to listen to the radio, just like y'all do, try to figure out who it is so I can mention it. So I don't know who K32 is because it's not on. Well, hold on a minute. Hang on. Just a minute. Yeah, I don't have it on here. So well, it's on the other laptop. I can't tell you right now. I don't know who K32 is. I don't know. I know a lot of them. I just don't know who that is. Austin says, is McCord the one who pulled over the person on I-49 for driving so slow? No, that was Trooper Duarte. Going to Troop L videos. That was about 3 or 4 months ago that I featured that video. Trooper McCord was in Troop A. She's no longer employed with the state police. I'm not going to discuss it. Google search it if you're interested. Google Rob 1 says, NST, are you hiring? Well, I mean, I don't know. Am I? I'm always looking. I mean, I don't know. No, but yeah. Yes, but no. Is the Kiko-san 777 says, is the black Charger still driving around? Well, I don't know if the notorious black Charger is still driving around. But as you can see, we are in, well, you can't really see because the camera won't work. There you go. Nice. We're in downtown Little Rock right now. And you know what I see a lot of? Black Dodge Chargers all the time. So I don't know. I always think that, it's kind of funny when I'm driving in Little Rock traffic. I'm always thinking, is that the black Charger? Is that the black? So, even I do it. Even I do it. I don't know. I don't know. Whitty says Simmons building. Whitty, you would be correct. Yeah. Bonus points to tell me which floor I'm on right now. Dakota says, does it bother you when troopers don't turn on their mic and stops in pursuit since you can't hear them? It does. But it's not for me to have so much of an opinion about unless it comes across as you were deliberately cutting your mic because you were doing something that was unethical. Then I have gripes and problems with that. And then it becomes a larger deal. You didn't activate your mic because you got in a 130-mile-an-hour pursuit in the heat of the moment. I'm not going to really make that claim that I'm mad at the trooper because they didn't activate their mic. You got way more problems than clicking the button and you were, chasing a car. So I'll just hope that maybe next time you would think to activate your mic. But the ones that cut their mics and cut their videos because they're doing stuff they shouldn't really be doing and they just don't want all that, or like when I get a pursuit, I'll leave this. I'm not going to name the trooper that this has happened to, but there was a trooper in Troop C, Charlie, and they had a pursuit 3 weeks ago that I would have featured in a county that doesn't usually have pursuits. So again, I would have featured it. Had the camera not been turned to the passenger side window, so all you were seeing was the side view and the lights, yeah, I would have showed it. But that particular trooper chose to take his camera and point it a different direction. So you do the math. Why did that happen? Makes you wonder a little bit. Now, I'm not trying to be conspiracy theorist, but why are you hiding your video? Like, why are you turning your camera out your side window? Again, I'm not trying to make a conspiracy over it. I'm not mad, And I'm not going to tell you who, even though I do know who it was. I'll just leave it alone because maybe they realize they shouldn't do that anymore. Supervisors review these videos. Not the one, well, they do. Okay. I don't know that this has been asked, but let me make this point because I think some of y'all have brought this up in the chat. You say, why do these videos get cut as soon as the incident's over? Well, I'm not going to tell you which troopers have told me this. I've had a couple whisper to me that the supervisors don't want to have to review it. They don't want to ding you. So if you're on that video saying a bunch of stuff you're not supposed to say, and you're doing more than you're supposed to be doing, the supervisor has to review that video. So they're like, as soon as the incident's over, cut, and then talk all you want. So that's why they do that. And plus they know we'll feature it here. Even though they don't ever tell me that, I think we actually helped with policy, natural state transparency. Cheers. I'll take credit for that. Because of us showing everything like we do, the state police made a policy, which was cut your camera as soon as you can, because we don't want that anymore. We don't want everybody to see everything all the time. So Lydia says, is that why they say I got to start and restart my camera? Yes. And I can still have access to that other footage that goes with the pursuits, but it won't be right away. So that's the problem, is that these are time sensitive pursuits. They come out on Friday. So I wouldn't get that other part of that footage probably until the next week. So okay, see the drop, see the dilemma there. I think as a general rule, the law enforcement officers need to turn their eye. If you're going to make a traffic stop or a subject stop, you need to be mic'd up, videoed up, and everything. Because really, there was a lot of apprehension with older guards when it first happened. With videos, the onset of videos in the 2000s, they were all worried it was going to get them hemmed up, and they had to worry. Some needed to worry about that because some were out here doing bad stuff. Okay, that's a fact. Like, let's not even mince words about that. There were some bad cops doing bad things, and the video kind of put a stop to some of that. That's true. But I think now more than ever, especially now in today's modern society of freedoms, and I've got the right to do this, and I'm a jailhouse lawyer that knows everything because I went to the Pulaski County Jail for 3 months and I listened to the pod boss. Therefore, I have a PhD in law, even though they didn't pass the bar. And they only went to the law library a couple of times because it was boring. But they know everything because they're lawyers. Now, because of those types, I think it's imperative that an officer or a trooper mic up, turn the cameras on, and continue to be the professionals that they are. Because there's always somebody looking, and they're sniffing, trying to find that lawsuit and get you hemmed up on a federal lawsuit or the 1983. You can go look up the 1983. Now, I'm not saying that some of that's not warranted. If you're a dirty cop, you're out here doing bad things and you're violating people's civil rights and you have it coming to you, you're a stain on the profession, and I have no room for you. I have no sympathy for you. And if I know that you're dirty, I won't feature you on this channel because that's not what we're about here. But on the same note, there's also citizens out here that prod the police and try to do everything they can to get them to act accordingly, to get them hemmed up in a lawsuit like that. And that's what I'm talking about. So Bo says that there was a chase from Garland County. I will get on that. Bo, if you can tell me uh, the the date it occurred, but I'm sure I could probably just look it up. So Rockport, Hot Spring County, and Magnet Cove High School. I'll check into it. Any airport on the Ron says any info on the pursuit that happened in Jonesboro on Monday evening took place out on Aggie Road in Airport. Well, as it turns out, Ron, I was in Northeast Arkansas when that happened because I was listening to the Troop C radio that I actually feed on Broadcastify for the world to hear. That's me. I do that. So while I was listening to Troop C dispatch, I heard them get in pursuit out there on Airport Road. And that was a vehicle that fled a traffic stop from a Mississippi County trooper. It was just fled for traffic. It wasn't something. It was something stupid, and the tags came back to a residence on Fairfield Drive there. And so actually, I was mobile when I heard that go out, and I was in Jonesboro, and I went to the area of Fairfield Drive and kind of cruised around while the troopers were cruising to see if I could see the suspect vehicle because it had been TBI'd, but then continued on and they lost it. So the vehicle had heavy damage, but the vehicle's tags returned to a residence in Jonesboro. Like it was like mama's car or something. It was dumb. It was dumb stuff. Okay. Dumb stuff. You get it. So April the 30th, Bo. Okay, I'll remember that. I'll remember. Hey, matter of fact, tell you what I'll do. This is how technologically advanced we are right here. I'll take a picture of that chat right there, so I'll remember to do that. Jewel Rob 1, if you really are interested about talking about that with me, which, okay, email me. Pulaski County News at gmail.com. Just go on my main page here on YouTube and click contact and send me an email. Let's talk. And as far as the one in Troop C, Ron, I'm on it. So let's see. Dealey Nader says, "Are you related to Ryan Vaughn? Haha, first time seeing you. Love your channel." I'm not. I shared the name Ryan, though. I have that name. I'm James Ryan. So partially, I'm kind of. Okay, so I guess this is turning into a ramble. Because I think I've answered everybody's questions, and I don't want this to become a circular conversation. Okay, so here's one more update, real quick. I will be doing live streams soon. I appreciate, truly appreciate you tuning in today. Even if we were just chilling and kicking it here in NST headquarters in between videos. And I will absolutely start doing live streams again soon. You know, I don't like making excuses. I'm just a busy guy. I don't mean to make excuses. I really don't. And so sometimes the lives are just not my priority, if that makes sense. My priority is keeping y'all fully entertained with good content throughout the week. It's a full-time job keeping all that coming in, and then reviewing it and editing it and putting it together and making sense of it so that you can watch it and understand better about the state police. So, uh, again, going back to what I was saying, my priority, unfortunately, is not live streams. It will be. I will make that more of a priority. But I mean, if I start focusing more on that, I'm going to start focusing less on content. Y'all like the content, so let's just keep it there, and I'll work on it. And Jacob and Tammy Street says, "You need to do more Troop I stuff, please, sir." And I agree with you. I do. Troop I is really, Troop I doesn't have much stuff going on. Every time I pull records and stuff from that area, there's just not a lot happening up there. A lot more in the ways of the regular traffic stops. There's some motorist assists. There's accidents. I will tell you, Troop I has their share of accidents up there on those 2-lane curvy county and city or state highways, rather. Uh, Deer come out all the time up there. Folks are tourists up there. They're not focusing on the roads. They're not familiar with those roads up there. And some of them have hairpin curves. I mean, some of those roads truly hug the mountains up there in northern Arkansas. You got to really know what you're doing. It's not for the faint of heart, especially on certain state highways, the older state highways that haven't been modernized and realigned. Okay, I'm not saying you shouldn't go up there and drive around. I'm a huge fan of going up to Searcy County, Baxter County, Izard County. I like all of them up there. Marion County, in Cotter. I love driving around up there. But again, I'd be the first one to tell you those roads up there, they're windy, they're twisty, um, you need to be careful. So that's why Troop I has a lot of accidents. They don't have so much, a lot, like I would say, a lot of action. Yeah, they have some in Harrison. Yeah, there's some in Mountain Home. You know, of course, there's folks that have dope and they have warrants. Yeah, but you know, it's just not as it's not as rich in variety as some other troops. I'll just say that. John Deere fan 725 says, "What's your favorite Trooper Bird moments on Troop A?" It was the one that I featured with him, with the lady that had the tricolor wig on at Baptist Med Center. If you want to know which video that is, go into my playlist on Troop A and just type in bird. I've every time I put out a bird video, now he has his own category. I just type, you'll find bird videos. Look for bird disorderly Baptist Hospital. And if you haven't watched that video, you're in for a treat. Take it from me. It's a good video. I don't like her behavior. The driver's behavior was atrocious. And some thought that Bird, and some even accused Trooper Bird of being too lenient and too whatever. No. And I'll tell you why that is. Bird, I believe, is a lifelong resident of Arkansas, and so am I. And I mean this in no way, please, and I don't want this to be misconstrued as that I'm making a racial point here, because I'm not. But I wanted to make it clear that I've lived in Arkansas my entire life. I know all about racial undertones. Okay. I went to Little Rock Central High School. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go type in Little Rock Central High 9 on Google and you'll know what I'm talking about. Okay. Now, does that make me a racial expert? Am I black? No. Am I aware of my presence? Yes. And I absolutely are aware that um, sometimes when you're dealing with a difficult subject of another race, and I'm not saying that we need to put on, you know, uh, delicate gloves to handle situations like that. But if you can articulate your message that you're not trying to, you're doing this because the law is the way that it is. It's nothing personal, and that you've made, like in that particular. Let me give you an example, because I think I'm getting a little out here with this statement. Trooper Bird interviewed that driver in particular, and she said she was on her way. She was late to a job interview, but then Trooper Bird went out of his way to say, as soon as we wrap up here, I'll give you a ride to your job interview. He made this statement that it mattered to him to ensure that she made it to her job interview, because that was more important, was for you to get to that job interview. And you hear Trooper Bird expressing that genuine uh, concern for that driver, and she just slapped his hand away, figuratively, of course, not literally and all that, but figuratively. She slapped his hand away. That wasn't why she was just saying that. She didn't mean that. And I think Trooper Bird in particular handled that situation 100% appropriately. He allowed her to dig her own hole. Okay. And beyond measure, when you watch that video, because some of y'all haven't, and I hope you do go watch that one, because it is my favorite bird video for sure. Because everybody wants to say my favorite bird video is the one where he pitted that black charger or that challenger or whatever. I like to see professionals do their jobs, like with Bird dealing with a very difficult situation. And instead of him losing his head or losing his cool, he was still showing his empathy. He was still trying to help her. She was just digging herself a bigger hole by being mouthy and not listening. And so that's my favorite Bird video because it showed him as a true professional. It showed him being real. And it's what I would have done if I was here in Little Rock, Arkansas, dealing with someone like that. I would have absolutely been the same way. Let them dig their own hole. Makes them look like the bigger fool because they were acting foolish. And she was. There's no denying it. That's not racial. That's real. She was being foolish. She should not have acted the way she did. And she never came off of it. That was the thing. Towards the end of the video, you would have thought she would have came off of that attitude. No, 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 no. She did not. So that's my favorite Bird video. Freeway says, how did you get started in all this? Well, that's a good question. So at 21, I became a 911 dispatcher for the city of Little Rock, worked for the Little Rock Police and Fire Department. I was also a correctional officer. They called us a detention deputy for the Pulaski County Sheriff's Office here in Little Rock. I also worked as a civilian at the Arkansas State Police, and I also worked for a brief time as a detention officer at Saline County Jail. That's my experiences in law enforcement. I got out in 2010, been out this whole time. Don't want to get back into it. Don't have anything against it. Nothing personal. Just no, not for me. Now, that gave me some experiences. And so after 2010, in 2012, I started this channel for S&Gs, if you know what that means. I don't want to say it, but if we're being real, I didn't start this channel with any expectations of anything. I started this channel because I'm just me. Okay. So, anyway. And I always used to scanner chase when I was a kid. My granddaddy got me a scanner when I was 8 years old. So when I turned 16 and got my first vehicle, I'd cruise around Little Rock late at night and with the scanner on, listening and doing that and trying to film with with VHS camcorders. I had a couple because I thought I might be interested in getting into media work there for a while. So you asked how this channel came about. It was really just by happenstance. It was totally accident. I didn't mean for this thing to happen, to be honest with you. I just like YouTube. And yeah, I started this channel just because I liked it. And so the first video I have on here is them bumping out Central Fire Station back in like 2012 to a fire alarm at one of our hospitals here in Little Rock. And the rest is history. Here we are. Never would have thought it got to where it's at today with 123,000 subscribers. And, currently I've got 134 people in this chat, which, I don't care about numbers. Look, I'm not a numbers guy. So some other channel content creators might say, oh, you don't have big numbers. I don't care. I don't have any expectations. So the fact that you're actually sitting here listening to me right now. So there's that. JB says, did you work with Kelly at Little Rock 911? I don't know Kelly. 02 to, oh, wait a minute. 01. Oh, 01 to 03. I was there from 2001 to 2003. It was my first law enforcement job, related job. So I don't know who Kelly, that didn't ring a bell. But I will tell you this, if any of y'all remember old Jeannie, Troop A dispatcher, that was there in the 90s and the 2000s. Oh, just Jeannie, State Police. This State Police, this Jeannie. State Police, she was from New Orleans. Y'all remember her? State Police, Jeannie. Some of you older folks that might have State Police ties, you would absolutely remember Jeannie. But most of you won't. But anyway, she retired. Dakota says, do you prefer the new squad of Troop A Midnights or the old? Well, I don't have a preference. Man, they're all professionals. The old squad was great. It was Nathan Williams and Bird and uh, Ellison, Kyle Ellison. Oh, God, it didn't matter which trooper you got. It was all good. And you got the new troopers now. So there's Trey Davis, Hunter Glover. Um, who am I missing? Let's see. Blaine, Lucas. Yeah. Uh, who's 16? Tanner Crossland. Who am I missing? I know I'm missing a couple. I hate it when I do that. And Sergeant Gabriel Monroe, who I didn't even know who that was until he started doing pursuits, and I'm like, oh my god. I like them all, really. Hey, Troop Bay Midnights is yeah. So Troop Bay Midnights. I mean, I'm just going to be honest with you, like, just from a content create. I mean, just look. There's a lot of stuff that happens on the night shift in Little Rock in Pulaski County. So, uh, I've always had an affection for True Bay Midnights because of what they have to go through. And True Bay Midnights isn't based just out of Pulaski County. True Bay Midnights handles the entire troop, and that can be Faulkner, Lone Oak, and Saline and Pulaski counties. So if there's like a really bad accident, like way in the extreme reaches of Troop A, like way up there near Damascus and Faulkner County, and the troopers coming from Troop A headquarters in Southwest Little Rock, that's happened multiple times. And they don't always have backup. I mean, it kind of goes without saying these troopers are kind of used to working alone in rural areas. But when you're a midnight trooper, you're really out there by yourself, unless you've got your backups out there. There's only 2 or 3 available at night on the midnight squad at any given time, and if they're not running as a pack, uh, you might be the only trooper in the county you're in. So. Do any other troops have a midnight squad? I don't know about that. Didn't used to. If I was giving you old information, I would tell you that 80% of the troopers go home after 2 a.m. I think there are some that do. If I had to speculate on a troop that had a 24-hour trooper, I would say Crittenden County and D, which is West Memphis. Maybe Washington County, L, has a 24-hour trooper. Maybe Fort Smith in Van Buren or Crawford or Sebastian maybe has a 24-hour trooper because of the interstate. I don't even think that Texarkana has a 24-hour trooper down in G, but again, I'm not 100 on that. If somebody knows, put it in the comments. I don't know. J, no, I don't think they have a 24-hour trooper. I mean, Pine Bluff they may have a overnight trooper. I don't know. Sometimes they work overtime, but I don't think they just regularly. I don't know that. I can't say that. Bobby says, I'm disappointed. Troop L seems to keep things under wraps. I haven't seen anything on their trooper that got their DWI and nothing about the shooting from a few weeks ago. You're not going to see the shooting. I want to bring this back up again. Just because they put out that information in the news that there was this big deal or there was this, you're not going to see it right now. The prosecutor in that county has put a cap on the media. They do this on all violent stuff pretty much. I can't get it. And you're not going to see it anywhere else either until they can get it. So maybe next year. Now the DWI, you could probably get that, but Oh no, Bobby, don't worry about it. Yeah, I mentioned it earlier, but that's okay. I wouldn't. No, no worries. Richard says, "Do you know if state troopers can join in on any county or city chase they are near, or are they required to be asked to join, take over the chase?" And I think that's a good question. Now, I can't say this with certainty because I'm not a trooper, and also I don't have an employee Arkansas State Police trooper manual in front of me to give you the textbook answer to this question. My knowledge would say that an Arkansas state trooper has statewide jurisdiction, though they are a secondary agency. So, what does that mean? Well, that means that if I'm standing in downtown Little Rock and I'm on Broadway Street, which is also US 70, which is a US highway, which Arkansas state troopers have primary jurisdiction on highways, state US highways in Arkansas. But they're a secondary agency. So if I'm standing at 7th and Broadway in downtown Little Rock and there's an accident, the Little Rock Police Department is going to come work that accident because it's in Little Rock and that's a police matter. Even though the trooper could come work that because it's on a state highway. They could, but they won't because that's LRPD. Now, let's say this. Can a trooper make a traffic stop at 7th and Broadway? Yes. Can they give a ticket and arrest? Yes. Can they tow your car? Yes, all day long. If they have statewide jurisdiction, it does not matter. So, in other words, when you think of primary and secondary jurisdiction, think about primary jurisdiction means who's going to get the call first, right? LRPD would get the call first, not the troopers. Think of it like that. So, can they chase? Like, if I was a trooper and I heard LRPD was in pursuit of a car and they were heading my way and I just set up and saw it and joined in, you bet. Now, I think that the supervisors have all agreed that they want the agency to formally, quote unquote, request state police intervention because it gives a justification for why the trooper got involved. Okay. But I don't think that that's required because if you watch my videos from this last week with Trooper Elkins, he was at the right place at the right time. Watch that video again in Springdale on Don Tyson, the pursuit, and listen to the radio traffic. Though I know it's kind of mumbly, really try to listen to the radio traffic because you'll hear the Springdale officer say, "I'm trying to catch up with a vehicle. We're coming up on Don Tyson." And the trooper just made a U-turn and saw the car run the red light and got right in the middle of it and just keyed up and said L19 low on 1037. It was a vehicle that was fleeing from Springdale. And they didn't request assistance. See what I mean? So there's your answer. Now, I don't know anything about ASB and FBI working together, Derek, other than they have task force and occasionally they use state police's assistance with doing certain things. I do know that. And they probably do have a good working relationship. Howdy says, "Where did you get the intro song? It's totally cool." That's my friend Jasper that did that song. He rest in peace, Jasper. He's no longer with us. He died in 2023. But that is a local Arkansan that did that song. Nate says, "Are most troops fully staffed until overnight?" Yeah. Okay, let's do a contest real quick, and then I'm going to go make some content for you. Be right back. Don't go anywhere. Okay. I'm going to show you what the product is, but you're still not going to, even if you look it up, you're not going to guess the numbers. So I have a box of Red Rock Arabia decaf Keurig pods, right? West Rock is a local company here in Arkansas, by the way. So not a paid sponsorship or whatever, but cheers to a Arkansas company. Okay. So the rules of this contest are very simple. Has anyone watched The Price is Right? Most of you probably have. Maybe you youngsters haven't. Maybe you should. But most of you older folks have definitely watched The Price is Right. You understand the concept of guessed. You guess the number without going over. You want to get as close to the actual number without going over. Okay. Now, don't guess anything yet. We're not doing the contest yet. So there's truly no sense in doing it yet. Don't do it yet. So we're going to guess a 4-digit number, and the number can be anywhere in the range from 0000 all the way up to 9999. Just don't do it yet. And so I'm going to put my finger over it. We're not doing the barcode. We're going to do this. There's some numbers written right there. Let me look at it real quick. It's a 5-digit number. I'll take the first 4 of those 5. Don't do it yet. And so the rules are this, okay? Let me make this clear before we start. The contest is for a hat, an NST hat. I have 2 different hat styles. I've got the regular hat, which most folks want, and then I've got that flat bill. They call them a snapback. You might want that, you might not. I don't know. But that's what this contest is for a NST hat, and I'll mail it to you. This contest, unfortunately, is only open to United States residents because it costs $20 to mail something across the globe. So this is unfortunately contest is only available to residents of the United States that have a United States mailing address, or Puerto Rico, or the state or the outlying islands. If you have a USPS address, those are the rules. You get 1 guess. Don't flood me with 20 guesses because I'm not going to use them. And we're not yet. And I'm going to tell you in the chat when to start, and I'm going to tell you in the chat when to stop. So if you get your 4-digit, you just basically the whole goal is you'll guess a 4-digit number. When I say start, you'll guess it. And then when we stop, we'll see who wins. Okay. That's how that goes. United States residences, this contest is for a hat. So if you want to play, I need you to guess a 4-digit number. Now, do it. Guess a 4-digit number without going over. And we'll see who wins the hat. Got some good guesses. I see some that are close. All right. 30 more seconds, and then we're going to close this out. So get your guess in if you haven't already, folks. 4-digit number. You're not going to lose because you might not win. I mean, you're going to. That didn't make any sense. Look, just give me a 4-digit number. That's it. You might win, you might not. Last call for your number. When I say stop in the chat, that's it. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Stop. That's it. The number is 3873. You see it on the bottom next to 2006 ZA. It's 3873. Drop the one. 3873 is the winner. 3873. Who won? Let's see if I can figure it out. Who won? Who won? Who won? 38. 3904. Dakota Duncan's looking like you won. Nope. 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 Tammy Jeffrey Dave. Wait a minute. No, no number again. 3873. Wow, Tammy Jeffrey. Well, no, because it was without going over. What am I doing? It's without going over. I got to get it close enough without going over. I'm like having this debate. That's wrong. Wrong. Who is closest? You said, who was it? Linda Zeno without going. Oh, Linda. Linda will. You would win, wouldn't you? Okay, I see that 3341. That's it. I think that is it. Oh, no, wait. Thomas says he said 35. Okay, wait. I want to make sure I didn't miss one. Hold on. Make sure I did this right. Thomas did say 3,500. Was that before or after I called it off? No, it was okay. Thomas. Thomas. Oh, Thomas. Thomas, you won. Thomas, you won. Email me. I put the email in the chat. Tell me what style hat you would like. It's not like this one. This is the old something I did a year. You can actually see it's like nasty. I've had this hat for a few years now. If you want to look at those hats, go on to one of my videos in the last 6 months or so. All of my videos, if you'll look in the comments, you'll see at the top, you can check out the merch. Go look at those hats. They're posted there. You can go look at the regular one or the flat bill. Just tell me which one you want, Thomas, when you email me, or you can tell me here, but either way, email me with the information that's been requested, and I will email you back a tracking number so you can see the package coming to you. I'll get it to you. I'll ship it out tomorrow, Sunday. It'll go out in Monday's mail. You'll probably get it Wednesday or Thursday. Congratulations, Thomas. Glad you won. Thanks for tuning in, and glad you're sporting one of our hats. And that's how we do that there. And for the rest of you folks that want a natural state transparency hat, well, you probably watched me talk about merch already, but I'll run it down real quick before we get off of here. I've got some merch that I had to take back and get them to touch up the pink a little bit on a couple of items. I still have plenty of hats to sell. The hats were not the issue. They're fine. So if you want a hat or one of those Trooper Bird T-shirts or anything like that, be checking me out the next week. I'm going to have that big merch order back. They're going to have it fixed for me. If they can't fix it, they're just going to redo it. It's not a big deal. We're not going to sell bunk merchandise. That's not how we do. I'm giving the embroidery shop a chance to see if they can fix the whites. When the cursive natural state transparency, there was white at the top of those, like the printer was out of alignment. And I think it's as simple as them just rerunning it. So anyway, we'll see. And I would love for y'all to have some of NST merch to support this channel with. Thank you so much for doing that or considering doing that. Oh, there is no mail on Monday. That's correct. It is Labor Day. Yes. So it would be Tuesday. You're right on that. Okay, folks. Well, thanks for tuning in. I want to get busy making movies real quick. We've got some Trooper Briggs movie, or Corporal Briggs will be next. So I'm going to go work on that video right now. It's going to take me about an hour to an hour and a half to release it. I don't know if you're going to get notified because we released other pursuits today. We might have burned up our notifies. So just know to check back with our channel. It is now 6:03 Central Time. Check back with our channel if you hadn't heard anything by about 8 o'clock p.m. Central, 2 hours from now. Check back with us. I bet you that Corporal Briggs video will have posted. Folks, I sincerely appreciate you tuning in to the live stream. I'm glad that you watched this channel. Thank you for your loyalty and your patronage. If you would like one of our our free NSD bumper stickers, the link is in most of the videos I've posted for at least the last year. Feel free to request one and get yourself a bumper sticker. Slap that baby on your car and be proud about it, or your gun safe, or your laptop screen on the back of your laptop. It doesn't matter. Get you one. If you need an extra one, let me know. If your husband or your wife wants one, let me know. Just put it in the comments. You need an extra one. I got you. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. This is James, the content creator for Natural State Transparency, and I am out. Thank you.